There are few more iconic actors than Harrison Ford. The guy's played the kind of characters most actors would kill for an opportunity to play, and he's done it multiple times. Among his most iconic are Han Solo and Indiana Jones. These characters have transcended movies and have a place in popular culture very few movie characters enjoy, which makes the complete lack of Harrison Ford-based figures being released by Hot Toys a complete befuddlement. I mean, those of us who have spent many moons collecting these 1/6 scale pieces of plastic crack understand that Hot Toys does some really baffling things when it comes to releases. There really is no rhyme or reason to a lot of their releases and their timing. That being said, they haven't announced a new Harrison Ford played character in going on 7 years now. We've had multiple Luke Skywalkers, Darth Vaders, Princess Leias, but no more Han Solo figures. Why is that? A lot of people reflexively say that Harrison Ford isn't licensing out his likeness. This argument might be true for some actors, but it's most definitely not true here, and I'll explain why. Although Mark Hamill is on record as saying he signed away his likeness rights for all the Star Wars movies, there's a great amount of testimonial evidence that this was not the case for Harrison Ford in regards to the sequels to 1977 Star Wars. Accounts vary, but they all seem to acknowledge that Ford was not initially signed to all three the same way Hamill and Fisher were. Many accounts state that he negotiated to retain the rights to his likeness for Empire and Jedi as part of the terms of his re-signing. Smart move on his part, especially considering Han Solo didn't really come into his own as a character until Empire. So, for the sake of this video, I'll be sticking to post-Star Wars A New Hope when discussing why we haven't gotten any Hot Toys figures since 2017. Since 2017, we've gotten numerous Hasbro 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures featuring Han Solo from The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Nothing seems to be preventing Hasbro from selling Han Solo figures. I've heard the argument that the likeness of the figure isn't dead on to Harrison Ford, which is why he approves it. Okay, but that photo on the card sure is dead on. That's part of the marketing and the sales too, isn't it? Next, take Hasbro's Black Series. Again, multiple figures released since 2017. This time, and especially in more recent years, the technology has improved to the point that the likeness to Ford is much more noticeable. Yet these figures are still being made, and there was never any doubt that Hasbro would produce them. Well, Hasbro has a ton of money, so they can pay Harrison Ford the likeness rights he wants in order to make the characters. That's the argument I hear. Are you telling me that Hot Toys, the company that sold a $1,000 Hulkbuster and seems to be able to afford other actors, other characters, doesn't have the capital to pay Ford a licensing fee, but Hasbro does? Are we to believe the laws of physics cease to exist on your stove? This brings us to art prints. There have been multiple prints released over the past few years of Ford as Solo and as Indy. The likeness is impeccable. No issues there, right? These prints are officially licensed, so no arguing they're unlicensed. Quite a few of these prints are limited edition pieces, under 400 in total, with price points of $75 or below. For those of you who argue about the licensing fee, do you think a supposed high likeness fee to Ford at that price point and that edition size is feasible? Again, you think Hot Toys is incapable of paying such a fee? Now, I get it. There are different fees based on different circumstances. Limited edition versus mass-produced, as well as odd prints versus toys. I get it. But I also remember an artist talking about making a piece only to realize she didn't secure Ford's likeness rights. She actually spoke to him and was asked if she had already made the thing, to which she replied yes. So he told her, don't worry about it, and allowed her to sell the piece without paying him for the likeness rights. This doesn't sound like a guy who's as fierce about his likeness rights as many try to argue. This now brings us to today. We have a new Indiana Jones movie coming out and lots of merchandise to accompany it. Hasbro did a special event to reveal their figures from the Indiana Jones legacy. We've seen Jones in iterations from all three of his original Indiana Jones films. Who's counting the Crystal Skull? Again, no issues to be seen. There isn't a hole in any of the properties making the character unattainable from that IP. So what about Hot Toys? A month ago, Hot Toys pretty much gave us our strongest clue yet that they're done making Harrison Ford's characters. In announcing multiple properties they'll be releasing in 2023, conspicuously absent was any mention of the Indiana Jones film releasing this summer. Not even a sniff. 0 characters. Why is that? Well, if they have no intention of releasing the hero, and collectors know this, then the market for secondary characters becomes far less. The omission of Indiana Jones from their advertised property list is letting us all know, don't hold your breath for a 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi Han Solo this year either. With so many collectors entering the hobby after 2019, most have that one glaring hole in their Star Wars collections they were hopeful would soon end. But that's looking even less likely now. Now this brings us back to why. Why isn't Hot Toys releasing any of these figures? Well, the prevailing theory, which I seem to believe, is that it goes back to an episode of Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show, in which Ford, in an attempt to plug The Force Awakens, committed a big no-no. He destroyed the figure. Howard Chan and the team he works with are artists. They weren't amused with Ford destroying their art on national TV and then just laughing it off. For many people, one's honor supersedes a paycheck. No matter how much money he might make off of future Ford releases, it doesn't matter. It's his pride. Now, the Old Man Solo from Hot Toys was released after this event. So what gives? Well, it's quite possible that that figure was already deep in development and they had to move forward or lose a considerable amount of money. Losing money and walking away from money are two distinctly different things. Or it's quite possible that the contract Hot Toys had with Lucasfilm stipulated that those figures, Ford in particular, Han Solo, had to be released. This happens. Maybe being already tied to the contract, Hot Toys released it and then washed their hands of everything. Who knows? Again, this is just my take looking at various amounts of evidence surrounding the entire situation. Could Hot Toys announce a Han Solo figure tomorrow? Sure. But that doesn't negate the fact they haven't announced anything in nearly 7 years while announcing multiple other figures. It's not just happenstance. I absolutely want a Han Solo from Empire and Jedi. Multiple, in fact. And I love some Indiana Jones figures as well. Anyway, that's just my opinion. What are your thoughts? Please leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching. Take care.